Hey, what's going on, guys? God Shed here, and welcome to another video. Unfortunately, it's rather horrible, but it wasn't when I set off, and now it is. So I'm kind of hoping that my gloves hold out the rain. I have got my waterproofs on, but I didn't bring my waterproof gloves because I'm a bit of a muppet like that. So yeah, could be interesting. What I want to talk to you guys about today is the I've seen this on a lot of groups. People are thinking getting into riding, and they're asking the question, should I get third-party fire and theft insurance? Should I go fully comp? Things like that. And I've got a little bit of experience with this, not necessarily in bikes, but with cars. So bear with me, please. Don't leave, please. I always insure my bikes and cars fully comp. And the reason for that is my first car was a Renault Clio. I'd not had a job since I was 12 years old. I've always been working. And, I saved and saved and saved till I was 17. I bought my first car, and it was a bright blue Renault Clio called Clive. I shall show you a picture of Clive with me stood in strong winds with a terrible haircut, because that's what we like to see. So, that was Clive, and Clive was insured third-party fire and theft, and he met a rather unfortunate end. What happened was, I was coming through a village. There was some parked cars, so I slowed down. There was a lorry coming the other way. I hit the brakes and stopped, and they didn't stop in time, and the lorry hit me head on. Now, unfortunately, the witnesses to the things said I was speeding, which I wasn't, and the witness at this point, I will say, is a fellow trucker from the same lorry company, and he said he could see it when actually he arrived 10 minutes after the accident occurred. So, hey, but I can't necessarily argue that. So anyway, the accident assessors came out, and they could prove by the damage to my car, the skid marks on the road, that I had actually stopped by the time the lorry hit me. And the lorry drove into me. He was absolutely in the middle of the road. The cars had finished. He could have easily pulled in, but nonetheless, accident happened. So, my insurance company, there's lots of back and forth, and I basically went back, measured out the distances, said, from where the witness said he could see me, he couldn't actually see me. It was less than a quarter of the distance that he would have actually been able to see the accident. Anyway, various things like that, along with the accident assessor's report saying I'd stopped, and in time, but, one of those things. So, long of the short of it is, it was going to go to court. As soon as court was mentioned, my insurance company backed down. Basically, if your insurance, I paid for legal fees and stuff like that in my policy, but because the insurance company backed down, the accident was automatically declared my fault, and my lovely blue Clio was written off, and I didn't get any money for it, and that left me scuppered. I had to get to work. I lived in the arse end of nowhere, no bus services, things like that, and I had to go and buy another car. Luckily, I had the savings to, but if I didn't, I would have been in a huge amount of bother. And that is why I would never ever go third party again. And I've actually had a little bit of independent advice from somebody, and they said the accident, if it had gone to court, I would have won, and it wouldn't have been my fault. But unfortunately it was. Luckily, this said insurance company went into administration about 6 months later, probably why they didn't go to court. So you can't get insurance with them anymore, so I'm not going to say the name, but from that experience, I've always gone fully comp. Yes, I know it's more expensive, but I would always do it. The other thing is, with fully comp, with bikes, it's very easy, for a back wheel to slide out, a front wheel to get away from you if it's wet or, conditions, or someone doesn't see you, something like that. It's very easy to have an at-fault accident. And I think we went to I went to a police safety evening last year, and I believe they said it was something like 50% of motorbike accidents are the rider's fault. It's actually the majority of accidents involving a motorbike, the rider is at fault. So, you know, unless you can afford comfortably to, you know, insure your bike, to buy a replacement if it's killed, written off, damaged, whatever, then I would never ever go third party. If it's your sole form of transport and you are scuppered without a bike, make sure you go fully comp. And also, while we're talking about insurance, make sure your policy has a courtesy vehicle. One of the guys at work just had his car stolen and didn't pay for a courtesy vehicle, and now he has no way of getting to work. You know, it maybe costs £20 to have a courtesy vehicle, but if you get paid by the hour and something like that, work won't pay him for the lost time. He's made a loss already, so worth just noting. The other thing I've made a video on, I'll stick a link in the description while we're talking about insurance, gap insurance. I've put a video in that in, is it worth it, is it not worth it, what is it? So if you're curious about that, then have a look at that when you're buying a vehicle. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would do. Would you ever consider going on a third party policy? Or, you know, are you always fully comp like me? I don't even entertain the idea of third party firearm theft. But unfortunately, like most young drivers, I was more fixated on the price rather than the level of cover that the insurance company gave me. So, you learn from your mistakes, don't you? Anyway, I'm going to end the video here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you ever so much for watching, and take care.